attendance is still low. Okay, I will share my file with you. So the last part of this chapter, I think you are able to see my slide. The last part of this chapter, that is a treatment of solid waste, we have started in the last lecture. That is, we have studied about the incineration and pyrolysis, and today we will see composting and sanitary landfilling. These two part, if we finish, then this chapter will be over, and then we can start the sixth chapter. Okay, so what I was telling you here, without explaining repeatedly, I think it is not required. If required, someone can tell me. Okay, we were discussing about the treatments of solid waste. Sorry, here written composting. Composting is one of the treatment. In first treatment we have discussed, and that is the incineration. Incineration is a closed conduit burning where the fuel and supporting gases to fuel will be added over there in the chamber, and where the burning will be performed with at very high temperature, and because of that high temperature, even the hazardous or convert into ash. So shortly I will discuss high temperature, close conduit burning. Stack or the chimney has been provided for the emission of gases produced during the burning, and reduction of volume, is it? So very important thing, by using the incineration as a one of the solid waste treatment method, there is a highly reduction of volume. Almost I think that day I told you, it will be possible to reduce up to 90% of the original volume. It will convert into 10%, is it? So these are the benefits with respect to incineration. But the disadvantages with incineration is a very controlled system is required, a very skilled supervision is required, because this much high temperature you are going to generate, and the highly generated temperature also you can use for conversion of energy. Okay, then next issue with this means very big assess arrangement is required over there for this. Are being used for the toxical waste. Do you know biomedical waste is the septic waste, which is generated from the big hospitals and like this. These are the bandages, syringe, etc. Whatever is the material used in the hospitals. These are very septic waste. One cannot pass that material from one place to another place. Is it? While transportation also, come into contact with this and will get, although if you need to transport it, it should be in a form you need to be, is it? So this is about the incineration. Then the next one we have discussed it, that is the pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is a process of chemically decomposing organic material at elevated temperature in the absence of oxygen. Incineration is the in presence of oxygen and direct burning, is it? And pyrolysis is in absence of oxygen and indirect burning, is it? Indirect burning at 430 degrees Celsius, above 430 degrees Celsius we can go for. So I have shown you the figure. There will be two different chambers. First chamber will be there, inside chamber we can say. Inside chamber will be there for the material which you want to burn, and outside chamber will be there to create for the creating a heat, or you can say a combustor. Simply you can say it is a combustor, where the fuel or the material which you want to burn and create a heat, which will be indirectly given to the pyrolysis reactor. And in pyrolysis reactor, we can put the material which we want to burn. Okay. So what happens when burn type of material? जैसे हळूहळू गोळा होत जाऊन असं जागेवर असं मुरगळून पडल्यासारखं ते मटाकडाला तुम्ही आग लावली, pyrolysis reactor, is it? And so the byproduct will generate as the activated charcoal, and activated charcoal or some very phenomena, and it can be used for the cleaning purpose or the filtration purpose method, ion exchange method. Have you studied that in a water supply engineering? At that time, what is being used there as a filter media? That is the activated charcoal. So it can absorb the impurities present into water on the surface, and after some time you can regenerate the same activated charcoal by passing the what brine water. Brine water, what is meant by brine water? 10% to 20% of NaCl is present into the distilled water. That is the brine water. Okay, if you will pass that material through this contaminated activated charcoal, again it will get regenerated, and again that regenerated activated charcoal you can use for the filtration purpose. Simply, that is the application of activated charcoal, and that activated charcoal can be created or formed with the help of pyrolysis method. Understood? Any question? Do you want to know more about this? Do you understood? Guys, please reply. Okay, no one is talking, so I will assume that you are understanding. Okay, shall we proceed next? So in general, pyrolysis of organic substances produce volatile products and leaves a solid residue enriched in carbon char. The process is used heavily in the chemical industry. For example, to produce ethylene, many forms of carbon and other chemicals from petroleum, coal, and even wood to produce the coke from the coal. Is it? So these are the various applications of this pyrolysis. The primary disadvantages of pyrolysis process are complex than many of the alternative treatment. Double two conducts we need to two containers we need to make arrange, and the internal conduct should be completely airtight. They should not be allowed to pass the air, because it should be a completely anaerobic treatment in absence of oxygen. Is it? And then the second container you need to provide for the burning purpose, and then sufficient air inlet should be provided. So this much critical is this. So that is the sorry, there was a disturbance. The primary disadvantage of pyrolysis process are Okay, the product stream is more complex than for many of the alternative when they directly in the cabin without further concentration is there. Why high CO concentration is there? It is an indirect burning. In absence of oxygen, it is burning. Is it? And do you know that in presence of oxygen, if burning performs, it emits carbon dioxide. Actually, carbon dioxide is not the air pollutant since long time. But nowadays, the population has been increased and the cutting of tree is the rate of cutting of tree is increased, and hence we are feeling that carbon dioxide is also one of the air pollutant, but actually naturally it was not the air pollutant, but carbon monoxide is very dangerous air pollutant. Do you know what is the ill effect of carbon monoxide? When it reacts, when one person come into contact with carbon monoxide, that carbon monoxide is having a tendency to attach with the hemoglobin, and hence it will stop the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. So these are the ill effects with respect to carbon monoxide. And when carbon monoxide emits, when there is insufficient oxygen is available while burning. When sufficient oxygen is available while burning, it will emit the carbon dioxide. So here we are completely avoiding to have the oxygen for burning. Definitely there is an emission of carbon monoxide. So that is one of the dangerous air pollutant. That is one of the disadvantage. Comparatively, if we talk that incineration is an exothermic process, while pyrolysis is an endothermic process which needs to absorb large amount of heat, while the end product of pyrolysis are fuel oil and fuel gas, which are convenient to storage and long distance transportation as heat source. Okay, so this is about the incineration. Sanitary landfilling, the next point, I think first to treatment, you have understood. If you have problem, I will give you 30 seconds. If any issue raise, we'll discuss. Otherwise, I will go for the next treatment, that is the sanitary landfilling. No question? We'll proceed. Okay. What is the next treatment? Sanitary landfilling. Okay. Before I explain direct landfilling, I forget about sanitary. Okay. It's a landfilling. And before that, it was just open dumping. Do you know what is meant by open dumping? Still in our villages, we people collect entire waste and waste which is generating from the household, or if there is the uh, some dairy type, or we can say animals are there. In that case, entire waste from that area or household waste we collect and dump into open uh, pit. Is it? And it will allow to decompose for an year, and after decomposition we are taking it out and we are using it as a manure for the farm. Okay, this is the practice, this was the practice, and this is the practice still in our villages. This is the open dumping, is it? But it is fine where there is a sufficient place is available, and for that kind of waste, if that waste is the decomposed up to some extent, though there is means still there are issues that if there is open dumping, how much mosquito breeding is possible over there, flies breeding is possible over there, and the emission of odorable gases is possible. In short, we can say unhygienic environment is being created if there is the open dumping. So to control that issues, that at small scale it is possible to control at our level if you are doing it at individual level. But for the big cities or towns, it is very difficult to collect the entire waste from the entire city and dump into open area somewhere, and making that area unaesthetic is very difficult or very critical. So that's why the term has been developed. That term is known as the landfilling term, a slope, a path. How initially there was an open dumping, which still being used in India in a villages, is it? So to control these issues as breeding of mosquitoes, flies, then disease spreading, smell, leachate generation, etc. To avoid that issues, the landfilling concept has come into picture. And then landfilling in the sense, how, what is the landfilling? Oh, simply there was a landfilling in the sense, it was simply to take dig the, then I should take the help of an excavate into this, then you can cover that waste, and you can put that entire waste into this dump the waste in a particular pit, and simply you can cover that by using the soil, is it? So this will be the, this was the landfilling concept. Later on we came to know that when you are doing the landfilling process, at that time it is getting, this material is getting decomposed over here, which we have kept up. Generally this process is sanitary landfilling, open dumping, or landfilling, or secured landfilling. Everything can be used or applied only for the decomposable type of waste, biodegradable type of waste, is it? म्हणजे microorganism can decompose, in that case only it is possible. Okay, so this was the landfilling concept. But what happened, it after some time it was observed that this is being getting decomposed, this material is getting decomposed, and during decomposition it is producing a leachate, it is producing a leachate. And that leachate in the sense, L-E-C-H-A-T-E, leachate. Leachate in the sense, during precipitation or due to some other activities, rain water is mixing into this, and that water is helping to increase the rate of decomposition. But during decomposition, that whatever the liquid waste generated is known as the leachate. It looks like a very brown, dark brown color, and its COD is very high. Meanwhile, that wastewater generating during the decomposition process of solid waste is very dangerous characteristics. And this generated leachate starts percolating towards the ground, and it is polluting the groundwater. It is polluting the groundwater. Okay, these are the issues over there, observed in that particular technology, landfilling. At the same time, it is getting dumped at the ether. So when it is getting decomposed, this material is getting decomposed. When decomposition performs, the reduction of volume is also being performed. And because of reduction of volume, if it is filled up to this, it may goes down up to this. Okay, and it will convert into a big pit over here, is it? And this area is completely banned for any of the activity, is it? So these problems were observed during the landfilling, and definitely there is the emission of air pollutants also observed with respect to landfilling. So later on, this technology was developed properly, and then that technology, how it was developed, that is nothing but the secure sanitary landfilling, or sometimes it can be said as the secured landfilling. So we'll see what is, that was the background about the sanitary landfilling. Okay. Now, sanitary landfills are sites where waste is isolated from the environment until it is safe. It is considered when it has completely degraded biologically, chemically, and physically. In high income countries, the level of isolation achieved may be high. Okay, so we'll see. Sanitary landfill works by layering waste and soil in a large hole in the ground that is lined with plastic and clay. The waste is allowed to decompose, and I request you to write down this definition. And at that term, I will explain with the figure. Okay, so please write down what is the sanitary landfilling. Sanitary landfills works by a layering waste. There will be the alternate layers of the solid and liquid. There will be the alternate layers of the solid liquid. Sorry, solid waste. First layer will be the solid waste layer. So this is the pit you can see. Okay. So this will be the first layer, and this will be the solid waste you can find here. And then you can change this next layer. That will be the soil. It will cover, and then it will be compression. And again, there will be the next layer will be the waste. Again, there will be the compression, and again there will be the spreading of soil. So this will be continuous process, will continue till the surface, and finally it will be compressed properly, and then you can go for the plantation over here. Okay, so this is the first thing. And second thing, this will be completely protected from the bottom side with a plastic and clay liner. First, a clay liner will be provided over there from the bottom side, and second, clay liner. Sorry, why plastic liner and clay liner can be provided from the bottom side? To avoid the products percolation of leachate towards the ground. Leachate will form, definitely, that there will not be the issue, but it should not be allowed to percolate towards the ground. It should be collected properly, and for the collection purpose, we can provide the leachate collection pipes. Dumping. Sorry, this is getting reduction in volume. So that's why each layer is called the decomposition. Avoid the reduction of volume, and then creation of the big holes over there, or some accidents may happen over there. So with the word accident, I came that has been noted in the environmental book. Environmental book, in the sense, in the air pollution, you are going to study some incidents happen, like the MIC incident. The most aware one incident you people are MIC incident, methyl isocyanate incident. Is it in a Bhopal in 1983? It was happened. Is it there was the blast of that company and gas into through that company, and then it was a large heavy loss was happened over there for the people as well as for the property. Okay, so such one of the incident happened with respect to landfilling process. So that I would like to share with you at this incident. So the way it has been converted from the landfill, as earlier it was the landfill. So it was compressed properly, then alternate layers were formed, but ventilation pipes and then leachate collection pipes were not provided in that earlier type of landfilling process. And then at the surface, it was a huge area near to the particular city, and that from that particular city, entire waste was collected and dumped into that pit, and compressed it properly with the help of alternate layers of soil and solid waste. And then at the top, they have developed one small town, or we can say colony, and that the colony's name was given as a Love Canal Colony. And what happened after some time, that the builder don't want to waste the land, the value of land, civil engineer can understand better. So they decided this is now no problem. This is compressed properly. Now this is the proper material, and we can develop building. So that way the Love Canal build colony was developed on that area. And after some time, what happened? The decomposition was performed for this material wherever there is the solid waste. And due to decomposition, what happened? During decomposition, not only leachate is being produced, but also air also produce, gases also produce. Which gases produces? CH4, is it? Methane, carbon dioxide, H2S, and then some quantity of leachate. So these are going to be formed during this. And because of these gases and compressed properly and converted into building layer above at surface here, there was the construction of buildings. They have developed the various buildings over here. And due to that, there was no way to get escape the gases. There was no any way to escape the gases over here, and hence there was a blast, like earthquake. It was happened the blast, and immediately that Love Canal colony has been converted into the host canal because a lot of loss was being observed over there in that particular region. So with that note, it was decided to go to change the design for the sanitary landfilling, and hence they have scientists have decided to change. Sorry, scientists have decided to go with the provision of vent pipes to collect the leachate. This is the first thing, and at the higher level, intermittently, you can provide a vent pipes to emit the gases which is going to be produced during the decomposition process of this solid waste. This is what the sanitary landfilling. Okay, so in my language I have explained. Now I will explain with the help of slides what I have prepared, and then we will discuss if you have not understood. Okay, I will erase all this part now. Okay. Let us see by slide. Sanitary landfill works by layering waste and soil in a large hole in the ground that is lined with plastic and clay from bottom side. Okay, to restrict the percolation of leachate towards the groundwater. The waste is allowed to decompose, and the lining helps to prevent contamination. When landfills are full, full they are often capped and transformed into parks or natural areas. Okay, so this is about the sanitary landfilling in a scientific language. Open dump do not regulate what goes into their dumps. Chemicals and other liquids are able to run to the groundwater. Sanitary landfills are disposal site for non-hazardous solid waste that is spread in layers and compacted to the smallest particle volume. Is it? We can compact it. So you can see the figure. Try to draw the figure as I have drawn. That way you can try to draw the figure. Let me see if I have taken another one. Okay, this is fine. You just compacted clay. Is it? So this is a section. Compacted clay liner is provided at the bottom. You can see here in a dark color. Then a plastic liner from the very bottom side, and then compacted clay liner, and then a refuse is placed over there. Alternate layer we need to make it. It is not shown completely properly, is it? And then compacted clay cap, here cap is provided. Gas recovery system, vent pipe is provided to collect the gas recovery. Here slope is given to one direction, so that's why whatever the leachate or the liquid waste is producing, it will be collected with the help of pipe at this So at the bottom, the pipe has been provided to pass the liquid towards this point, and from that point it can be pumped and it will be collected, taken it out separately. Is it? To avoid the percolation towards the ground. So this is the leachate collection system, we can say. Is it? And these are the plastic liner, gas recovery system, compacted clay cap. I think I have explained and I have shown in the figure in this figure properly. Through this, you might have understood what is the sanitary landfilling. Do you understood? Okay. Try to draw this figure. Okay. If not, I will try to give you another figure. Have you drawn, guys? Shall we move? See figure. I will try to expand it more. What shall I do? Slideshow, animation, current slide. How the layers or the zones can be prepared, and from each zone, how you can collect the gas, how you can collect the leachate. You can see the properly by expanding this figure in your mobile, please.